Hello everyone, I am sye990 and I will be running Earthworm Jim HD, a game that came out in 2010 by Gameloft and Interplay and is a complete remake, not just a remaster. They built this from the ground up and it looks really good. So I am happy that I am able to showcase it all for you today. There are a couple of incentives. Bahamut. Did we know if the Psychro incentive got met?
The all bosses incentive?
Yep. Yes.
Yes, that did get met.
Okay. Just wanted to know that one before we started. I'll let you know before the advanced, for Pete's sake.
Thank you.
So we still have time for that if that has not been met.
Yep, we still need some donations, so get those donations there if you want to see that advanced for Pete's sake.
Okay. So I will go ahead and get started if you're ready, Bahamut.
Yep, go ahead.
Alright, so it'll be on go. So 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, like I said, this game came out in 2010 for a limited time, sadly. The game is no longer available. So if you were able to get it, I mean, you're one of the lucky ones here. The game plays out just the same as the SNES and the Genesis version did. This follows more of the Genesis cart than the SNES cart. It adds the intestinal distress level. It also adds an extra part to the first level here in New Junk City, which we'll be seeing here shortly. Just your basic platformer. We're already here at our first little mini-boss, which is Billy the Bin. This fight is pretty simple. Just blast him with the plasma shots, and then just shoot him until he's done. He does get really close to me there. It took a little bit of time to figure out the proper position so that he doesn't jump out and get me. And then here's the second part. We lose our super suit, so we gotta find it. Now normally Jim moves very slow, so I'm glad that all these are slopes so that he has a way to slide. As you can tell, his normal just walk is just really slow. So if I can, I'll be jumping in any part in the game that requires me to not have the suit. And then we're at the end of the first level. And here's Chuck. Now, I'm not going to be using the plasma shots that I obtained throughout here. On the original difficulty, it's just a lot easier to kill him with the crates. Shooting him with the guns, normal and plasma, do not do anything to him. So I'm gonna hope for some good cycles here. He does have a little bit of RNG to him, but it's not a lot. Okay, I'm gonna miss this cycle here. So I'm gonna hang back here, I'm gonna let the magnet come out a little ways. The magnet moves faster, so I have a little more time to work with. How it's picking up the crates, I don't really know, but, you know, video game logic. Alright, we're on the final hit. Where he stored all these fish, I don't know. He must have, like, a black hole of a stomach. And that's the end of the first level. Alright, now we come up to anti-asteroids. There's not much to say here, I'm just racing Psychro. But since the fighting Psychro did get met, I will let him win the first race. So Bahamut, if there's anything you'd like to say, I mean, right now is the perfect time, there's not much to explain about this.
There isn't, but think a little bit about talk about events here. Good Philosophy Ball is raising money in support of the White Bear Lake Emergency Food Shelf. To donate, go to speedrun.com/MWSF2020/donate or type thanks so much for donate in chat. You can also apply your donation to various bid wars and incentives. To learn more about the White Bear Area Emergency Food Shelf, go to whitebearfoodshelf.org.
So a little bit of backstory on Jim. He was just a normal earthworm, just crawling around, when a super suit fell out of the sky, landed right on top of him, and gave him his superpowers. The Psycho was originally stole the suit and was searching for it after it got lost in a little battle. So now Jim has it, and he's trying to save Princess What's-Her-Name. That's her actual name. The game is complete satire and pokes fun at a lot of different things. So the princess's real name is What's-Her-Name. Very original, isn't it? Alright, Jim lost the race, so he's not going to be too happy. Alright. Psycho. Shoot him a lot till he gets stunned. Once he's stunned, I'll whip him a couple of times, and that's it. It's very anticlimactic.
Groovy.
Alright, what the heck? Again, more simple platforming. There's no RNG as to where these enemies spawn, so I know exactly where they're going to be. I'm going to grab a few more plasma shots here for the next level. Here's our first developer-intended skip. We got one more. That guy likes to be a jerk sometimes. That was the second one, being able to whip through the floor there. Now, since this is original difficulty, I do take a lot of damage from things.
Plasma. Plasma.
Now, Evil the Cat is the second boss. Ooh, these guys are gonna chase me down. Okay, this might be bad. Okay, never mind. We're still good. I'm gonna drop right here and get a little bit of health back. These guys will cooperate. Just for a little bit of safety. Evil Cat, he's our first big source of RNG. He has to melt this pillar, and how he shoots can be real trolly, or he can do this, what he's doing right now, and just constantly fire. Him being a cat will, of course, mean that he's going to troll. As he can shoot, then he'll clean himself, he can just stand there. And somehow, again, Jim has gotten himself separated from the super suit. Now, on the remake here, there are 4 different difficulty levels. Easy, normal, hard, and original. I am playing on the original, which means that things hurt more, things take longer to kill, and this pillar takes a lot longer to melt. This should be the last hit. Alright. Now, we have to finish him off. And what would a cat be without 9 lives? So I'm going to hope that he spawns real close to the top of the screen. So that he despawns and respawns faster. If I'm lucky, I can catch him at the very top, and it'll do a quick kill. You won't even see the ghost. He'll just immediately despawn. which I am not getting very fortunate with here. He's wanting to be trolly, which is expected. Him and one other fight always love to give me bad orange. The major mucus fight is the other one, which we will see after the tube race level. Alright, last life. Jim grabs his pocket rocket and blasts off.
Groovy.
Our second anti-asteroids here.
Yeah, groovy.
Same thing as the first, except this time we're going to be winning. This game for me, I didn't originally intend to make this a speedrun game. It came as a challenge to me to beat the game at first deathless, and that took a couple of attempts. Then I noticed that there was an achievement for beating it below 50 minutes game time, and that's just, it just kind of spiraled from there, and now I am the world record holder with this game with a 3720 on original. Now, I've always liked the Earthworm Jim games. I always thought they were just funny games. All the satire that's in there. Never thought I'd be speedrunning it, but, you know, here we are.
You know how that goes. You got time for a donation?
I do.
We have $35 from SO5Z. No comment, but thank you so much for the donation. And that actually fulfills the other incentive for your run. So we will be doing an advanced version of For Pete's Sake.
Ah, Z. One of my regulars. So yeah, thank you for that donation, Z.
Groovy.
Alright, down the tubes. You know, what's a game without a water level? Now, how many of you knew that you could blast these cats away with a plasma shot? Instead of having to hide up in the little bubbles. Now, my health is still a little low, but there's a safety at the end of this portion of the level that I can grab. Now, I bet everyone loved the little glass submarine when they were a kid, trying to get through all this. Oh, I actually got the whip there. Nice. If you stand just at the very edge of that, you can catch that lever with the whip, instead of having to hop in there. Alright, next little submarine part, we're going to skip that air pocket. Oh, I need to grab that, though.
Plasma.
Nope. Okay, well, I ended up grabbing this one. It's fine. I didn't have to refill too much, so it doesn't lose a lot of time there. Yeah. Now, this being on original difficulty, I don't have very many hits that I can take. So I do have to be careful of that. I did gain plenty of health along the way, so 80% is good. I'm good with 80%.
Groovy.
Alright, now here's the real fun part, the tube race. We're gonna grab our hamster buddy here one more time.
Oh, Nelly. Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm sure that this level induced a lot of rage for people when they were younger. I know I had my moments as a kid. A little bit of bouncing around there. There are certain spots where I do like to take a hit, because I get extra momentum from it. I kind of want to play it a little bit safe, you know, marathon. Gotta make sure the run completes. But we'll take it a little easy through here. Getting out of here at mid-50 is really good. Oh yeah, we don't even have to open that door to defeat Bob the Goldfish. You can just shoot through it. You know, physics.
Groovy. Yeah, groovy.
More anti-asteroids, they're in between every level. So, more Erasing Psycho, more of him losing, more of Jim celebrating. But they do get a little more difficult towards the end. Right now, they're still real easy. You'll also notice... Oh, okay. Well, there's an online notification. But you'll notice that I'm not picking up the solid blue bubbles. If you collect 50 of those, you get to continue. I won't be doing that because that requires an extra bit of animation and that loses time. And we can't have losing time, no, we have to be fast. I do pick up the barrier orbs just as a safety here. Again, I don't really need them for the earlier versions of the level. Later versions, they will come in handy. And that's that anti-asteroid. Now we move on to the biggest source of RNG in this game, and the biggest run killer, which is the Major Mucus fight. There's 3 rounds to it. My health doesn't regenerate through all 3 rounds, so I have to be careful there.
Groovy.
Ooh, double groovy there. So let's hope he is rather kind to us.
Uh-oh.
Okay, not too bad there. There's the spin. He's got that spin attack that he can do, and it does hurt. So I do try to stay away from him when he does it. Jim takes damage from both the spin attack and from being bounced into the cliffside. Alright, there's round 1. Round 1 is the easy round.
Uh-oh.
Round 2, he gets a little more difficult. It starts to become harder to push into the cliffside. Also, the creature down in the ooze tries to eat us. So I have to watch out for that now as well, along with dodging him when he decides to spin. Oh, he was a little too far down there. Oh, he's juking me pretty good here. Yeah, how they fall is, of course, completely random. So I can shoot way up ahead of him, or he can drop far below, and so I can't touch him like he's doing now. If I do go up before him, I can bait him to one side or the other to get a few good hits off, like I just did. Alright, he's just about done. I'm gonna try to hit him away because he's getting ready to spin like that, so I may die right here. Okay, or not. He decided to be nice. Okay, that was close, but we managed to survive it.
Groovy.
Alright, Bahamut, if you've got any donations, well, we're just on another Anti-Asteroids race.
No new donations, but we actually have 2 new incentives that we just opened up.
Oh?
Yes, well, we have 2 for the run here. It's later today for Sonic Global Blast 2. We have a goal of play the night special stage, which $40 you can unlock that. And we have a boudoir for music boudoir. You can choose between digital and MIDI.
I like a good MIDI track.
Oh, I love MIDI. And, you know, back in the 20th century, when I got into video game music, that was the way to listen to video game music, was MIDI tracks before, you know, MP3, even before MP3 was really around, and then even when it was around, there was too much space, you know, your hard drives were 1 gig, 3 to 5 meg was a lot back then. So MIDI was the way to listen to music.
I thought you were going to say back in the day.
Oh, I said back in the day. I thought I did. You know, I did say back to the back in the 20th century. It's fun to say. It's funny now. It's still funny to say, but 20 years from now, it will start to get scary. Ooh, 20th century.
I'm still partial to my 8-bit music. 8-bit and 16-bit.
Oh, me too, man. I grew up with those.
Alright, level 5. Yeah. The only intentional death warp.
Ow! Ow!
Just, more platforming. That's all this game is. Just a platformer. So you see me do a lot of that.
Oh yeah!
But this right here. I wish I could find a way to skip this. The only auto-scroller in the game. And I have yet to find a way to skip it. Yeah, it moves you around, throws you into a little area where a bunch of amoebas are shot at you. A fun little note, on the lower difficulties, those amoebas move slower.
Yippee! 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 Yippee!
Yeah, this game is very well coded,
Wee doggy!
believe it or not. And I have yet to find a way to do any kind of clipping to get around this. And I have tried for hours to find a way to get to the other side and just can't seem to find one. Alright, but we're coming to the end of it. We survived it.
Oh yeah!
Survived the auto-scroller.
Yippee!
Here we see Doc Monkey for a head. Yes, that's his name.
Ouch! Ouch!
Again, the game is very satire, very just, it's there.
Ow! Ouch!
And now we have a bunch of conveyor belts, so you'll see me jumping around a lot on them. Because most of them I'm running against. We get separated from the suit, so You gotta get back to it. If I don't jump, I don't move. So you'll see me hopping a lot. And I'm trying to get to the suit as quickly as possible. So that's why I do go back after it. I don't wait there for it.
Yippee!
Okay, we'll take this a little easy. I want to gain a little extra health here. So I take damage there no matter what. I cannot get underneath that, whatever it is, without hitting it. You'll also notice that if I'm taking damage, I try to be in the air when I take the hit. And I do that because if Jim is, you know, on the floor, on the ground, he has an animation for when he gets hit. And that loses a little bit of time. And you can, as you can tell, I take a lot of damage. So I'd rather not lose all that time just for a little animation.
Plasma.
Alright. Doc Monkey Forehead is back. He's throwing... I have no idea what he's throwing at us. What's in those vials. Can't be anything good.
Wee doggy. Ow.
Yippee!
Alright. Gotta get past him one more time.
Ouch.
Right there. That was the little animation that he does.
Wee doggy. Oh yeah.
Okay, I made it past the first one. And we have the boss. Robo Chicken. Let's see what kind of RNG he gives me. Not the best. I have to drop amoebas on him. So I try to, you know, set that up to where all I have to do is just hit the target after he lands. And I'm trying to do my best to avoid taking any damage here, and it's for the next level that's to come. The next level is by far the most tense level in the whole run, so I will need to concentrate a lot on that.
Groovy.
But we have a nice, relaxing asteroid race. And it's around now that there's a few more asteroids, so I have to do a little more dodging. I'll take this time right now to thank you all for letting me, you know, showcase this game. I know there's probably not a lot of people who know about it because it's not around anymore. You can't get the game. They lost the license for it, which is a shame because it's a really good looking game. I didn't know how it wasn't real well known until I started running in. People had no idea that it even existed. Because it came out 10 years ago. And it wasn't around for very long. I think Bahami said they also did it with the remastered DuckTales game.
Yeah, which was a really fun remake, and I know that I think they lost the license for that, so that went away for a while, but fortunately that did come back. It'd be really awesome if they did that with this game, because I remember playing this a little bit, you know, back in the 20th century with the Super Nintendo. It'd be fun to try this again, so I hope someday they can bring it back.
Groovy.
Okay. Now, if I just kind of trail off, I do apologize, but this level does take a lot of concentration on my part. because I am constantly juggling Pete in the air. Oh yeah, and if he grabs me there, it stops the meteor shower. Why? I don't know. I still have yet to figure out why. But I'll take it. Now, in the SNES and the Genesis version, you can glitch Pete off the map and just run straight for the end. You can't really do that with this one. That was a little close. I'm gonna play this part a little safe. I'm gonna grab some health here. Oh. Okay, I missed the whip there because the... whatever that mechanical monstrosity was decided to hit me while I was on the ground. So, that was a little bit of an oops, but not a very punishing one. Alright. Get through that meteor shower, no problem. Yeah, I had a viewer in chat by the name of Mini Lily while we were first starting to get the routing down for this game. Asked the question if we could just continually whip Pete in the air. Yeah, maybe that would make it faster. So we decided to give it a shot, and it's turned this level into the most tense level. Because as you can tell, I'm whipping Pete off the screen, so I also have to time the jumps and the whipping so that I constantly keep him in the air. And if I miss, every now and then it's not so bad, like right there. But other times, I'll get punished for it. Alright, and we did meet the incentive for the advanced portion. So I will be showing that now, because we are at the end of the normal. Okay. So we're going to skip over that. Now, this I have to play real cautious, because if Pete falls, I will get sent back to the very beginning of this area. There is no checkpoint here. So I'm going to go quiet so that I can focus on what I need to do. Okay, that's the advanced portion. Oh, I'm so happy I made it through on the first shot. Oh, I'm so happy I made that through on the first shot. There were so many times during practice where I'd get to the very end and I'd lose Pete and have to start all over. That's more painful than any other failed juggle during the normal part of that level. Alright, again, just as in normal fashion, we have another asteroid race here. And we're getting ready to come up on a level that was not on the SNES card, but on the Genesis card. So for those of you who played the SNES card when you were young, won't recognize this level. And that's because Genesis struck a deal with the developers back then. Because the files were more compressed on the Genesis cart, they were able to fit in a small level. The developers agreed, and they came up with intestinal distress. So if you haven't seen it, you're in for a treat.
It's very cool. I didn't know there was a difference between the two.
Yeah. Yeah, just because of how the games were put on the Genesis carts, their files were more compressed, so they had a little more space to work with. They wanted to put as much in as they could. You know, Genesis had to one-up Nintendo by saying, "Hey, we can put an extra level on our cart."
I haven't forgotten the intense console wars of the early 90s.
Oh yeah. All right, here we go. This is intestinal distress.
Yippee!
And it has a boss that was not shown in the cartoon, which is Doc Duodenum. I took a hit there. That's not bad. I have plenty of health though. I played it safe at the very beginning, just to make sure that I would have a little bit extra here. Now, when I was routing through some of the lower difficulties, I found that this boss on the lower difficulties dies in one shot
Oh yeah.
to a plasma gun. Before, and you saw me grab those plasma shots there, for some reason it took me so long to find that those even existed. I would carry the plasma shots that I got in level 5 all the way to here, instead of using them on a Robo Chicken. Then I realized that I could hook down there to grab those, and I had to reroute again. And if you're not careful with the jump back, you will bonk on the bottom of that platform, and you gotta do a little bit of the level over again. But here's Doc Duodenum. Real easy. Blast him there, and blast him there, and he is done. That just shows how overpowered the plasma shot is.
Groovy.
Alright, one last anti-asteroids.
Yeah, groovy.
Yeah, they're finally difficult. Oh yeah, also, every time I get hit by an asteroid, if I don't have a barrier up, I lose 10% of my health for every asteroid hit. The only one that you don't lose any health on is easy. So if you're coming through here and you've got low health, you've got to be cautious. Also, you don't get a whole lot of barriers at the very end. Yeah, they wanted you to improve as you went. So they upped the difficulty, dropped the amount of barriers you get, and they also dropped the amount of boosters. You'll also notice that Psychro never really leaves my tail. On original difficulty, he's just right there behind me, waiting for me to mess up. We don't really want to fight him again, so we're not going to let him win. Alright, one more victory dance here. And we move on to the final stage. Now, I have a little bit of fun with the intro here. So, we just casually walk off. It's a good way to give people a heart attack if they don't really know that you can just drop straight down right there for a little bit. All right. Final level, which means that we're at the final boss, who is Queen Slugfurbutt. She has another name, and it's over the top, overly long, and not one that's easy to remember.
Yippee!
So she does have a nickname. It's Queen Slugfurbutt.
Yippee!
We have our little damage boost there to clip through the floor.
Yippee!
Oh yeah.
Now, all of these bugs, their patterns are random, and if they hit you, which this one might hit me, and it did. Oh, okay. I almost died there, but we're fine.
Yippee! Yippee!
Well, okay. That's a thing that can happen. No big deal. I do lose my plasma shot, so I needed one more. But this is fine. I can still make it through here.
Yippee! Yippee!
I just mistimed my whip.
Oh yeah.
Yippee!
Normally, I can just take a plasma shot to this guy, or this, whatever this is, and call it good. But
Oh yeah.
the game wasn't having it. Alright, time's getting ready to come up as soon as she explodes.
Uh-oh.
And time. And that is Earthworm Jim HD.
Groovy.
That was about 40-55.
Nice, I stayed under estimate. Whew.
GG.
Yeah, as I was doing practice, I was hoping that I didn't cut myself too short there. I was looking at so to have a minute to spare, that's real good. Okay. All right. Just for some closing here, thank you all. Thank you to Midwest for allowing me to showcase this. Thank you to everyone who is always there to cheer me on as I'm practicing this game. For the people who have helped me route this, because there was really no heavy routing for this game. I just kind of picked it up. There were a couple of other people who ran it, but there was me and a couple others. We just really ground it down to get it to the original difficulty to a 3720, and if I wanted to really push it, I could go underneath the 37 marker. So, again, just to end, thank you all. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone who donated during the run. I really appreciate it.